Welcome back to episode 2 out of a 3 episode series guide on Stranded Deep. We will continue where we have left off from our previous guide as we progress through building on the island and learning new recipes and techniques on surviving. Now, we're gonna take a further look into crafting. For example, if you want to craft yourself a knife, what you would need to do is once you obtain this hatchet, it's quite very useful. You can now, one of the things aside from chopping wood, which I'm gonna do in a second, you could also break rocks. What you need to do is get really close to them and try to hit the rock. And once you succeed, the rock will break into shards. Now, as usually the rock always seems to break into 2 shards, I'm yet to be able to break it into 3. Once you have it in 2 shards, now all you need to do is throw in a rope and a stick. Now, by now you would have noticed that there are not that many sticks available. So what you should do after you create this X is approach one of these trees and, well, start to attack it with your axe. Like every other crafting game or survival game out there, you can chop down trees within this game. Once you chop down a tree, you can also obtain the coconuts that are located on this tree, and again with your X, if you get near a coconut and hit it, you can now break a coconut and drink what's inside. But I digress. Now, what you need to do is break up this piece of tree into several logs. So we'll start from the tip. You keep hitting the tree until you break the log off. Once you break the log off, you could either use this log part of construction or continue to chopping the log further. And voila, you have now obtained sticks. And now you can definitely drag your sticks and build yourself other things. Now by combining a stick, as I mentioned earlier, a rock shard, and a rope, you can now create yourself a crude knife. Voila! A crude knife for you to cut things further down and for you to harvest rope and plants. From shark piece. The next 2 things that you would want to craft in this game would be a spear and a crude hammer. If you of course haven't located the hammer within the ocean floor or in one of the crates. To craft the spear, which we will start with, you need to get yourself shards. There we go. Drag the shards, put them together. Come on, baby. There we go. Then drag another stick and combine it with the rope. And again, as always, there we go. Crude spear. Now you have yourself a spear. Once you crafted yourself a magnificent spear, you can of course now go fishing and use that fish to cook it, eat it and do a bunch of different stuff. So the way you fish is when you have the spear, you go underwater and you look for these little fishies that are all over the place. For example, this victim right here. And once you approach him and have him highlighted yellow, you left click and voila, you stab him. Now you have yourself a little fish. And once you left click again, you take it off the spear and voila, it's in your inventory. And of course, you could start hoarding things like I am in a single spot while you're trying to gather resources to build up your shack and your camp. Now, the next thing that you would like to craft would be a hammer. A hammer would require a single wooden stick, 2 rocks, and a single rope. Once you left click and drag, you will see you have Crude X, Crude Knife, Hammer, Spear, but we need in this case Crude Hammer. You mouse over Crude Hammer and you left click, and voila, you have crafted a Crude Hammer. Even though they look very similar, please don't confuse the Crude X between the Crude Hammer. Once you have the Crude Hammer, you can now do a lot more things, for example, constructing your own shelter. After you've constructed yourself a campfire, as we did earlier, it's now for you time to take it one step further. For this you would need 6 rocks. Again, open up your inventory and drop your rocks all over it. No pun intended. Then again, left click and hold and create a campfire. And voila, you have now created a campfire. Now we're gonna go a little further with this fire pit, and create a fire spit. That would require 1 fire pit, which we have created, 3 additional fire sticks, and 1 additional rope. So let's quickly make that. Now, as you can see, I brought in more sticks, and of course the rope and the fire pit that we have previously built. Now again, left click and create the fire spit. And voila, you have now created a fire spit. A fire spit is an addition to a fire pit that allows you to catch cookable food and to basically hang stuff on it. Well, I haven't really found what you can hang on it, but well, we'll quickly discover that soon enough. One of the things that I've discovered that you can definitely put into your fire spit is the little fishies. By holding the fish and mousing over it, you can now hang the fish and cook it on the fire. This way, you don't have to actually hold the fish or anything over the fire, try to place it. It will cook it automatically. Once it is cooked, you would hear a ding sound like a microwave finished cooking. Then you would of course loot the fish. Having difficulty looting it here. Seems I was not able to properly loot it. Once we finished cooking our crab, we loot it, and voila, we have now created a cooked crab. It seems that there is some kind of a difficulty with the fire spit, and that it doesn't really cook sardines that well, in a sense of that you can't take them off the fire. You could add other stuff, but the sardine is now there, well, kind of stuck. Thank you all for tuning in to my second guide in a 3-guide series on Stranded Deep. Please click like, please click subscribe. Please remember that the last guide will include all of the major constructions such as building, foundations, walls, doors, roof, and so on. The video is already most likely is uploaded as you're watching it, so please check it out for you to have the complete knowledge of the game. I will try to keep these guides up to date and constantly upload as they continue to patch it. Thank you all for tuning in, and I hope to see you guys next time.